Well, we're at Petrivi with Steve Doig and a couple of athletes headed to the World Para Championships coming up in France pretty soon. Steve, just tell us a little bit about the World Paras. You've got Owen Miller, Stephen, Bryce and Ben Sandilands all in the GB team.
Yeah, we've been lucky to get 3 athletes in the same event, so great progress for the group. Obviously Owen's been in that classification for a while now. Ben got into the T20 classification. He went through a classification process in Dubai in early March. Stephen's been on the British Athletics Future programme, and we'd actually hoped we could squeeze him into the World Championship team, but we weren't quite sure we'd done enough this year, and luckily I think we just got in at the last minute.
And what's the atmosphere like between the 3 guys when they're all training? And imagine it's pretty competitive if you're all in the same event.
Yeah, that's why I've got all the other guys there on guard when they're training. Yeah, but they don't always train together, because sometimes Ben, because he does quite a lot of 800s, trains with some of the other lads. Owen and Stephen tend to be together most of the time. So.
If you just pass the microphone over to Owen. Owen, you're the defending Paralympic 1500 metre champion, so I imagine that you're not going to be beaten too easily in Paris this time.
No, I'm going to make sure that I work hard and give it all that I can give and do what I can to defend my title. So. Absolutely,
and we know how proud you are of that GB vest. You're wearing it to training, but you were telling me earlier a whole load of kit has now arrived as well, a new lot of kit.
Yeah, new kit's come and arrived, and I can't wait to wear it.
Must be an exciting moment. If you just pass the microphone over to Stephen.
Thanks very much.
Stephen, I know you're just back from the Virtus Global Games, but also I imagine that GB kit arriving, that must be an exciting moment for the World Championships.
Yep, it is, and I've seen it in my case, so that's good as well.
And how has it been for you? You sort of come over to this group coached by Steve and with Owen and Ben. I imagine that's really helped you progress.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Oh, just pass it back to Steve. Steve, just tell us a little bit about Stephen joining the group. Obviously that's giving you more grist to your mill, I think is the phrase.
Yeah, so we had a discussion with Dan Stepney at British Athletics, and I spoke to Alan I think last spring, and he was keen for Stephen to come over and try a session or 2, because he lives about an hour away. So since last spring he came over, tried a couple of sessions, quite enjoyed it, so he's been coming over 2 days a week, and then he just does a session on his own with Alan watching him on a Thursday. So yeah, it's been a great addition, and we were lucky to get a big improvement out of him last summer.
Tell me just finally then a little bit, you've been involved in a number of sort of global events and championship events and team manager roles, but this one coming up, this World Para Championships in Paris, what's it like, what's the sort of scale of it like in terms of everything that the guys have to go through? Is it as big as a Paralympics?
Yeah, well, of course Paralympics we weren't allowed to be out there, but this time, yeah, as I understand, there's going to be using the Olympic holding camp, so they're going to be trialling that out for the World Para Champs. Obviously all the top guys will be there. Some of them were at the Virtus event that Stephen ran last week, so it was good to cast an eye over them. So yeah, I mean the T20 classification for 1500 just now is very competitive. A lot of the guys have improved, so yeah, it'll be a very closely run event, I think.
And we should say, in fact, 8 Scottish athletes involved in the GB and Northern Ireland team for that World Para Champs. A couple of other events, frame running events and wheelchair athletics as well. So just from your perspective, the strength of these Scottish para athletes, it seems to be growing quite steadily.
Yeah, and I think there's so much being done on the ground throughout the clubs now in para events, and it's great to see. For someone working with children with additional support needs, it's great to see that there are opportunities for them as they leave primary school, go into high school and then further on into sport.
Smashing. We wish you all the best, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.